All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Denver. Oh my goodness, this is like the best defense I've seen in a very, very long time. And what's even crazier is last season, their defense was insane. But this year, 9 sacks against New York this past weekend. They have 30 of them on the season. They've only played 6 football games. They're only giving up 16 points per game. They're giving up only 165 passing yards per game. They're a top 6 rushing defense. This defense is Super Bowl worthy. I mean, it's clear as day. They are loaded front to back and top to bottom. I mean, that depth there is even crazy. Dre Greenlaw's coming back here. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Denver because I guess people don't trust them quite yet. It's always fascinating to me how quickly narratives change in the NFL specifically. Because 2 weeks ago, they went to Philly, upset them, and the sky was high. Well, watch out for this team. They're kind of a dark horse, actual Super Bowl contender. And then they go overseas, only win by 2 against the New York Jets, which they did, by the way, last year in even worse fashion. And now it's like, well, hold on, let's pump the brakes. Is Bo Nix even a good quarterback? It's crazy to me. So coming into this matchup, Denver was already one of the better defenses in the NFL, obviously. They ranked 5th in total yardage allowed. They had number 1 in sacks at 21. And that clinic that they put on against the Jets was honestly defensively insane. And I know Justin Fields gets clowned on and he can't read the field and he can't go through his progressions. He just doesn't know how to read defenses. I mean, he had Justin Fields, when he's been healthy this season, looked pretty good. They allowed only 32 total yards in the first half. Only 2 net passing yards. By far the lowest marks of any team in a half this season. And Justin Fields, when it was all said and done, went 9-17 for 45 yards and no touchdowns. Garrett Wilson led the AFC in catches and yards. He was tied for first in touchdowns. He had 3 catches, 13 yards, and they barely won this football game, right? And I really hate these overseas games. I think I just always hate this, and I say this in every once a week. I talk about how much I hate these international games. The way I see it is when you go international, the product is not how your team really is. And thankfully, this defense really stepped up because offensively, nothing too crazy. Way too many 3-and-outs. There was no rushing attack. 19 of 30, Bo Nix, 174 and a touchdown in the first quarter. But they did what they needed to do, and they came away with a victory. And I'm curious where Broncos fans stand on the whole grand scheme of the team for 2025 because, like I said, I forget if it was week 4 or week 5, maybe it was even week 3 last season. Bo Nix and the New York Jets went to New York and they won, I think the score was 10-9. Bo Nix, if I'm not mistaken, had 70 something passing yards. I mean, it was horrible. And people were saying, is Bo Nix even an NFL quarterback? Did the Broncos just mess up their franchise by taking this dude? 1 year ago, very similar game against the New York Jets. But folks, I'm a Sean Payton advocate, and we'll talk about this offense in probably towards the end of this video. Before we get any further, if you don't mind, hitting that like button goes a long way in the algorithm. Appreciate it. So like we keep mentioning, the Broncos defense led the NFL in sacks. They had 9 against the Jets. 5 of the 9 sacks came on 3rd or 4th down. Nick Bonito had a huge one halfway through the 4th quarter. The Jets offense managed 1 yard of total offense over their first 3 drives, but they still had 6 points because of a Broncos fumble. They also had a 72-yard kickoff return. But those 9 sacks were the most in a game since 2000, all right? And the Jets had a franchise worst minus -10 net passing yards. The Broncos had 55 yards worth of sacks. So they didn't allow a single explosive play, which is a run of 12-plus or a throw of 16-plus, which is the first time a team has done that since 2021. They have 30 sacks for the 4th time in this video, but no Denver team has ever had 30 sacks in 6 games. I mean, this looks like the best defense. And Denver's had unbelievable defenses, obviously, but this looks like, on paper and with the eye test, 6 games into the season, it might be the Broncos' best defense, which is saying quite a bit. Jonathan Cooper is a beast. had 2 sacks in that football game, 7 pressures on only 18 pass rushing plays, 39% pressure rate. Dude was a beast. And this is a Super Bowl caliber defense. You know, we'll actually just get into offensive lulls right now. I have no concerns for Sean Payton or Bo Nix. You know, what you have with these, like, franchise coaches is they throw a lot on your plate early on in the season. Now, when I watch a Broncos game, specifically that game against the Jets, your left guard actually, I think he straight up tore his MCL and finished that football game back up to, Ben Powers? Unbelievable performance considering he tore his MCL, in that football game. Penalties are killing this team. The way I watch these games, when I watch the Broncos, just the penalties are just killing momentum. And the Broncos only have 14 explosive plays this season. Only 6 teams in the league have fewer. Bo Nix and this offense has gone 3 and out on 37% of their offensive possessions, which is actually somehow not the worst in the NFL. There's 7 teams worse than that. They're also 24th in third down success. They're 31st in offensive penalty yards, and we're going to circle back to that. 16th in turnovers. Bo Nix ranks 26 out of 34 qualified quarterbacks in passing yards per attempt at 6.2. And here's where it all kind of comes together for me. The Broncos are facing an average distance to gain on third down this season of 7.6 yards, which is third worst in the NFL. They're 31st in offensive penalty yards. It's killing drives. It's killing momentum. So I saw an interesting article, I think it was on The Athletic, saying, is tempo the secret for the Denver Broncos offense? Because through 6 games, Denver ranks 8th in EPA, expected points added per snap, when operating without a huddle. All right, now it's really small sample size. They've only done that 39 times. The Commanders lead with 217. But there's way too many 3-and-outs. They went 6 times having a 3-and-out after the first quarter in the last 2 games alone, and they punted a total of 13 times in the last 2 games. So Sean Payton was like, Bo Nix likes tempo. All right, Bo Nix likes playing in tempo, but he wants to keep the defense fresh, because if your offense is running in tempo, it means they're on the field for less and the defense can be on the field longer. Well, the issue is when you punt 13 times in 2 games, your defense is already gassed because they're always on the damn field. So I kind of am expecting this team to go a little bit quick tempo. No huddle offense against the New York Giants at home this upcoming Sunday. And I think that's going to change a lot for this Broncos offense. They're still 7th in rushing yards. I know they didn't do a great job against the Jets, but Bo Nix is perfectly fine. This offense is perfectly fine. And they're just taking a little bit of time working out the kinks with these penalties. I don't think that will last much longer. So, folks, this Broncos team is terrifying. They are 100% a Super Bowl contender, at least in my opinion, and the sky's the limit, man. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button as always. Let me know your comments on the 4-2 Denver Broncos, and we'll see you soon. Peace.